I'm extremely disappointed with the Orioles trade deadline, and let me explain. Hello, everyone. My name is Hunter Simon, also known as That One Announcer Simon, and today, Monday, August 3rd, was the MLB trade deadline, and I am so unhappy with what the Orioles did. I'm making a video that I might regret in due time, but I feel I need to say. I've been an Orioles fan for all of my life. Like, even when my family lived closer to Philadelphia than they did Baltimore, my family's always been a Baltimore household. I've grown up an Orioles fan, and there's a lot of frustration that has been brought from this most recent trade deadline, and I feel like it's just time to start talking about it. All right, so let's start off a couple of facts. MLB trade deadline, August 3rd, 6 p.m. The Baltimore Orioles were currently, I should have had this up previously, but they were doing okay. They weren't doing the greatest. They are fourth in the American League East Division, currently sitting at 54 and 58, a total of 1.5 games out of the wild card. That sounds close enough where if I was the general manager, I would be buying players. I would be trying to trade for them. We had some stars, and I mean, a lot of players were playing down, but over this last month, this is a real statistic, the Orioles were the second best team in the MLB in the month of July. They had such a strong start to this month, and we've played some of the hardest guys. I mean, we've played against the Atlanta Braves and Philadelphia Phillies, who are two of the hardest teams in the league. Two of the hardest teams in the league, and we actually were surviving against them very well. And this is all without our star catcher, Adley Rutschman, who you can't see. Hold on, let me show you. I have his jersey right next to me. The other jersey that is not that side. Also, right beside it is a Grayson Rodriguez jersey. So currently, all of the jerseys I have on my wall have players that have been traded away. Wrong corner. That jersey is a minor league jersey from the Delmarva Shorebirds, so I don't even know who's actually on that. But Adley Rutschman, let me get my point. Adley was injured, has been injured for a little bit. Basayo was also injured. And this team looked like they shouldn't have been winning at all. But they were the second best team in baseball, which is ridiculous to me. That's crazy, right? You would want to build on that. Instead, General Manager Mike Elias said, we need to sell now. We need to give up the season. Oh my. It's even to the point where I could say that we are selling not just this season, but next season as well. We need to blow it up. So, all the best players out of here. All of them. The Baltimore Orioles, within the matter of a couple of hours, traded away outfielder Taylor Ward to the Mariners, catchers Adley Rutschman, and catcher Jake Rogers, who we just got. So he lasted 3 games, which, great. But we sent him to the Boston Red Sox, who are an in-division rival, who, again, I mentioned, we had the second best month of all MLB. The Red Sox were number 1. So a team that we were just behind is buying, but we're selling. Okay. And we sent Tyler Wells, who was the only real bullpen arm that was consistent through all the year. We sent him to Tampa Bay Rays, who's another in-division rival who is currently at the top of our division. So we helped the rest of the American League without helping ourselves. And we also had a little trade, I believe that was with the Reds, I believe, for minor league pitcher, but I'm really focused on the MLB aspect of this. And the players we got back, I I wrote down all of this in my text. Is for the players that we traded five players. We traded 5 players. 4 of them have MLB experience. You know how many guys have MLB experience for who we got back? If we're counting more than 20 games, one. One guy has played over 20 games in the MLB. If that doesn't sound crazy, I don't know what is. I'm sorry. I moved my entire setup. Oops, my bad. My bad, everyone. But players we got back: Carlos Narvaez, catcher; right-handed reliever Alex Hoppy. I believe that's how his name is. Either Hoppy or Hopi. I don't know how it would be Hopi, but I'm not putting it aside. Reese Hines, Cody Hewer, and 7 players with absolutely 0 MLB experience. So in total, we traded a guy who had a 764 OPS, a 729 OPS, and a guy with a 2.6 ERA in the major leagues for a guy who has a 535 OPS, a 358 OPS, a 5.79 ERA, and a 4.66 ERA. Obviously, I'm not including minor league numbers, but I don't understand blowing up this year. I know. A lot of people have been pointing out that we probably, with the Adley trade, we got a lot back, including their number 2, the Red Sox number 2 prospect, who, funny enough, is actually, I believe, listed as our number 4 prospect right now, which I think is ridiculous that he was so high in the Red Sox system and yet is barely in our system. But the number, I believe, 49 prospect in the MLB. Yes, and the Red Sox overpaid. They gave us 5 prospects for Adley Rutschman, who's currently injured. But, man, I've been an Orioles fan my whole life. Like, hold on. Just to prove my point. Here is my first ever game certificate. UC Hunter James Colburn. Yes, I know that was my birth name. But showed up on June 28th, 2006. I was born May 20th, 2006. I was 1 month old when I went to my first Orioles game. I've been an Orioles fan. That is the dedication I've had to this team. How much I've loved this team through my history. But it's just, we're throwing away another year, man. And it really hurts to be an Orioles fan right now. Because, really, let's just go over a little timeline here. I have been, let's say I got my sentience, because you know how little kids, they don't really remember anything. I really started paying attention to the MLB and the Orioles. Again, I've been an Orioles fan my entire life, but I really don't remember anything. But let's say I got my sentience when I was like 7 or 8 years old, right? 7 or 8. I'm not doing the funny number. But in that time of me understanding baseball, enjoying it, saying Matt Wieters was my favorite player, and getting buzz cuts through my entire childhood. Yes, I had a buzz cut my entire childhood because of a baseball player. That's besides the point. That's a different story. That's a story for probably a YouTube short. That would actually be pretty fun. But let's say I really started paying attention to baseball in 2014. Can you guess how many MLB playoff games I have seen in my lifetime as an Orioles fan? You know how many? 0. I understand. I'm sorry I yelled. But I have seen from 2014 to 2026, I have witnessed 0 playoff wins. We've had multiple playoff appearances, but that's so sad because this is not my dad's team anymore. You know, my dad was around watching the 98, the 19, why am I speaking? 1983 Orioles World Series team. He was actually at a game and he talks about how great Cal Ripken was, how cool Eddie Murray was, Jim Palmer pitching. You know what I have? I say that Cedric Mullins and Anthony Santander got me out of a slump. The greatest achievement my team has done is they set a record for the most amount of losses in a season, dog. Well, and then it got beat by the Rockies, but besides the point. We watched 110 losses. And I've seen multiple first overall picks for how bad we were. And Mike Elias was brought in 2019, and he told us, guys, just wait. We have the first overall pick, and this super generational player we're going to pick first overall is going to change everything. Just you wait and stick around. He then gave up that number 1 overall player for minor league prospects in the midst of us trying to fight for a playoff spot. Adley Rutschman, I don't mean to sound harsh about it, but Adley Rutschman was supposed to be the savior of the Orioles, and for a good while he looked like it. This year, I thought he looked great, even when all the fans were saying, "Oh, we don't believe in the Adley project anymore." Last year, he struggled hard, like pop-up central. Every single swing is a pop-up. But at least we have Gunnar Henderson, right? But he was doing so good this year, and I didn't want to see Adley go. He, again, was the process. If we talk about the 76ers, they waited on Joel Embiid and said, guys, just wait for him. He will fix the process. But at least they made the championship series. Adley Rutschman has 0 playoff wins in his career. In 2 back-to-back seasons where we had over 100 wins and we looked dominant. Well, the second half of the 2023 didn't look that great, but still, over 100 wins. And what did we get? We were swept twice in the playoffs. It's really hard to be a fan of this team sometimes. We had the world at our fingertips, man. We almost had it. We could have said we were the first ever team to go from 100 losses one year to making it all the way to the World Series. Instead, we traded away our best players. And we sold. I might regret this video in due time, but I'm sorry, this is the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. And again, I've been an Orioles fan for my 20 years of life. And this is the most ridiculous thing. Did you know, as a stat from is his name Jacob Calvin Myers? Sorry, Jacob Calvin Myers on Twitter pointed out, under the Mike Elias era, which again 2019 I believe, in the last 8 off seasons, last 8 trade deadlines. Sorry, I am all over the place because how messed up I am right now. In the last 8 trade deadlines, we have sold players 6 out of 8 of them. We have only been buyers twice. And technically, you can't even count one because the only move we made in 22, I believe, was getting Jack Flaherty, and that was the only move. No big trade, no big superstar. Jack Flaherty, who was struggling that year and then left us immediately after, went to Detroit, and then I think went to the Dodgers. I don't know where he is actually, but that glare from the mic. Still, all of that, all of it, and we ended up to a point where we've continuously been selling and selling all of our best players. All of our farm system has all led to, well, another disappointing season. Might as well can it. The entire American League is struggling there, bud. We're 1.5 games out of the wild card. And we were doing this without Adley Rutschman. I think my dad said it exactly how I would love to say it. All right. He told me this earlier. He said, not earlier today. I meant earlier, like a couple days ago when we were talking about the trade deadline. It's as simple as this. Imagine how good the Orioles are doing during the entire month of July when their catcher spot is basically given out. He's always going to be out. The Sam Huff, the Ponzo, no matter who it is, the Chadwick Trump, they're guaranteed out. But imagine as this. After the trade deadline, Adley comes back from injury. That's basically like if we traded for an all-star catcher, adding to one of the hottest teams right now who are meshing perfectly. Pete Alonso has been doing Pete Alonso things. Taylor Ward had such a strong streak at the beginning of the season where he was only behind Yordan Alvarez for on-base percentage, whether he got on by hits or a walk. He was amazing. He was phenomenal. You had guys like Blaze Alexander who stepped up in the miss of Jordan Westberg. Even after Blaze got injured, we have Christian Encarnacion Strand, who was doing amazing as well at third base. And Basayo and Adley were both looking like the players we needed. Gunner's having the worst season. And yet, what have we done with that? We traded away Adley, who had another year of control. And we had so much going for us. And all we did was sell to the point where now we traded 2 catchers away. We traded away Jake Rogers and Adley Rutschman both to the Red Sox, where I believe Shorebirds legend Creed Willems is going to be the next star of the Orioles. That's how stupid it sounds. This is a failure of not just the Orioles organization, but Mike Elias especially. This has been atrocious, okay? I haven't seen success in my life, okay? I haven't seen a playoff win since I actually started watching the Orioles baseball when I was 8 years old. I haven't seen success outside of regular season. I haven't seen a playoff win. I've seen legends come through the door. The Nelson Cruz, who's going to be in the Hall of Fame. I've seen Corbin Burns get walked in and then walked out. I saw all of it. Yet, I'm ended up dissatisfied with nothing. I walked out of here with no more jewelry than I did when I walked out. It's like, if anybody's on NBA Twitter and you look at the picture of Damian Lillard that says the difference between rookie year Damian Lillard and current day Damian Lillard is like, has his beard grown? Yes. Like, he has all these achievements that he's never accomplished through his entire career. No rings, no all-star MVPs, no MVPs or anything like that. And then beard grown. Yes. That's pretty much me. Now I have a hairstyle I like that isn't a buzz cut. Thank you, Matt Wieters. And a little mustache. And that's the only thing that I have for me. That's the only thing I have. The amount of stress this team has given me that I was so excited for this year, and we looked like we could actually do something if we could have just continued this pace, kept up where Adley came back and he was healthy. If Felix Bautista could come back for a late playoff push. If Gunnar Henderson could just figure out his bat. This team looked unstoppable. Truly. They looked amazing. And now I've been rambling for almost 21 minutes about how one trade deadline makes me to the point where I don't feel happy being an Orioles fan. It's to the point where my dad, who's been supporting the Orioles all of his life, is threatening, saying, I don't want to be an Orioles fan anymore because this team isn't a team he grew up with. It isn't a team that's had the success. It isn't a team that had the greatest superstars ever on the planet. We have nothing. I don't even know if we have a future because our future was now. Remember, we've been building this team since 2019. We had Adley Rutschman. We had Jackson Holliday. We had Gunnar Henderson. We had all of these amazing players. And now, what's another 18 years, in the great words of Omni-Man? All right, I'm someone that will own up to an opinion that is then proven wrong. But my opinion for this team is that there is no chance. I don't see us being good within the next 3 years. And I see us being mediocre because these moves have set us so far back. Even if we make it to the playoffs, hey, I'll say it. Even if we make it to the playoffs, I still believe we're getting swept. I don't think with everything that's happened, I will ever get to see a playoff win. Even soon. I'll be out of college before I think the team will ever be back to where it was. And if I can say that the greatest achievement of my life as an Orioles fan is a 100-win season that ended in a sweep by the Texas Rangers. It's embarrassing. Yeah, I've been ranting long enough. Well, if you enjoyed my rant, leave a like, subscribe. I'll try and be more consistent because all I can say is I might be more onto Wizards news like I have. I've made 2 videos about Washington Wizards, and now I don't know if I want to make another video about the Orioles. But hey, until next time, everyone, peace.